Hello, my name is William Farrell, and welcome to Standardized Tests. Test fate, not reality. As children, we are constantly bombarded by new information. Beyond learning our pleases and thank yous and other manners, we are introduced to Schrodinger's cat, quantum mechanics, the origins of a nucleus, and why Pythagoras has a theorem. These learned factors compete with our social experiences. For example, son, grandma's passed. Daddy's lost his job. Or no, you can't go out and play today. There's too much crime in our neighborhood. But, son or daughter, how are you doing in your polynomials? Quantify that our children are living in a world exponentially more complex than ours was because of the internet and other technological wonders. How are they to make sense of this world? Our leaders who divorce themselves from mitigating factors such as culture, economics, and other crucial aspects that affect who we are and how we learn love to compare our students with the students of the rest of the world. The litmus test utilized to compare and contrast is standardized testing. Standardized testing has functioned as a baseline for learning since the 1800s, but their use would exponentially expand. Primarily, this expansion happened under George Bush's No Child Left Behind Act, and it did have bipartisan support. The idea is that more testing would create greater accountability and achievement in our students. Proponents argued that the tests are objective and are a means of fairly testing our students' achievement while keeping schools and teachers accountable. However, naysayers would argue back that the tests force a teach to the test mentality and pigeonhole students' learning possibilities. If students failed to reach certain scores with their testing, they were forced out of their electives and more testing and more remedial classes were in their future. Thus, the tests have narrowed the product that our schools can create. Again, politicians and their interests will always fall back on America's schools are failing our children, particularly in reading and mathematics. The Obama administration embraced more standardized testing through the support of Common Core. Common Core is a program created to unify state standards. One of the new means of state standard testing not used before is end-of-course exams. These are not to be confused with final exams, which are still given on top of AP, IB, SAT, PERT, PLAN, TOEFL, and you get the idea. These tests take time to prepare for, and actually do. Has anyone ever thought of at what expense? What is scary, though, is that these tests are not only used as barometers of achievement, but predictors of where your children will go. These tests supposedly reveal your future. The weight of your destiny on one test seems a bit much for a child, but don't tell that to the creators of the SAT. And what of the parents? A few test points can mean thousands of dollars in college loans, heartbreak, and disappointment. Teachers do lose their jobs over these tests, and not just the ones who fail at instructing why Shakespeare is so witty. But your theater, your arts, your music teachers are let go to make room for more remedial reading and intensive math instructors. Or new arts positions simply are not posted when ones become vacant. Students now take physical education online. In Florida, no joke, it's called hope. There is a tug of war over your child's education. Between those who see education as algebra results and vocab tests versus what Howard Gardner defined as theory of multiple intelligences. Intelligence manifests itself in many different ways. Our world is radically complex, and Gardner would argue our intelligences fit into an intricate puzzle, much like our DNA. Each intelligence plays a different role, some musical, some mathematical logical, and often the combination of both. However, sometimes athletes are physically smart and writers are self-smart, which aids them in their introspective thought. But the point is, in all of this, is that we are all different. Do the tests account for this intellectual diversity? Or do we put too much faith in the predictive powers that these tests supposedly hold? This is why I argued to create an awareness campaign to combat the perception of the all-encompassing predictive powers these tests appear to have. The idea behind test fate, not reality, is that these tests are nothing more than predictions and not your child's actual intelligence or future. Very few people stop to think about what is not measured on these tests like Gerald Bracey has. For example, self-discipline, leadership, civic-mindedness, courage, compassion, creativity, critical thinking, resilience, motivation, persistence, resourcefulness, curiosity, endurance, reliability, enthusiasm, empathy, sense of beauty, sense of wonder, honesty, and integrity. All of these are important skills that could lead to a future career or holding on to one. And that's why I argue these tests test fate, not reality. Not only have I created posters and mailers, but I also wanted to create something that could go viral. So in my interest in social networking, I looked at things like Pinterest and Tumblr and Twitter and Facebook and Giphy. And I created an animated GIF of the poster to grab people's attention, like, look, over here. And I think I was very effective. The poster or the image itself is already kind of ominous looking, but I wanted to give it like almost like a John Carpenter meets Big Trouble in Little China, like really grabs your attention. I'll never forget the trailer, and I saw that film, how that when the main character, bad guy, Lo Pan's eyes light up, it added scary and frightening to a whole nother level. And I want that because if you think about a fortune teller and resting all your eggs in this one basket about your whole future, that's terrifying. I wanted the viewer to feel the same fear that a child feels, the same stress that a child feels when they take that test. So the eyes light up and the slogan pulsates in the GIF. This was cool. I've never even made an animated GIF before, and so this was a first for me, but I think this is an effective way of grabbing people's attention. It'll stand out. Most people were inundated with so many visuals, and they see something in a serious manner punched up in an interesting, grabbing way, especially for this demographic with young people and the parents of young people. This would grab their attention. This is a, hey mom, look at this, or wow, did you see that? I wanted to grab that wow, scary factor, and I think I nailed it with this. I want to thank you for joining me today and looking at this, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Take care.